again.
The defending champions make it 2 wins out of 2. Ansel with the one-handed take. Ansel on the reverse stick, plays it forward, shot comes in off the post. Oh, dearie me. A loss for England.
The green machine has rather had a spanner in the works this evening against China.
Hello and welcome to day 10 of the Odisha Men's Hockey World Cup. It is crunch time for Pool B today as the tournament newcomers China look to keep their tournament hopes alive by stealing points off the world number 1, Australia. Later on, England and Ireland will battle it out for a crossover place also. But here's today's order of play. Will it be a case of a day for the underdogs, or will the favourites prevail? Australia and China are up first, and later on, Ireland versus England. But before we look into detail in those matches, let me introduce you to 2 of our very special guests, as always. 2 gentlemen who know a thing about winning important matches. We have Jabir Singh and Rick Charlesworth. Gentlemen, welcome. I must first of all ask you, have you recovered from what was a very exciting night last night? We obviously had Argentina lose to France.
Well, it was a stunning result, an upset. I don't think none of us would have predicted that. Even Jagbeer, with all of his skill, missed that one. It really was a surprise. When you look at the results, though, you've got to say that France had played pretty well against the Black Sticks on the first day and were unlucky in the end. They missed a penalty stroke against Spain, and then yesterday, well, their performance was stunning. They outplayed the Olympic champions. They deserved to win. 5 goals to 3, that's an extraordinary result.
And Jagbeer, it's safe to say it was an upset, the result really, wasn't it?
It is an upset result, but it's good for the world hockey, I would say. Reason being, it's time that these top teams are being challenged. They are threatened. They don't take their place for granted. Teams like France, Ireland, China have been outstanding. Over the 3 decades, past 3 or 4 decades, we've seen few teams who are every time in the semi-finals, whether it's Australia, Netherlands, excuse me, Rick, if I'm saying so, which is a fact. Australia, Netherlands, Germany, and at times Argentina, and now Belgium, and also England at times. So it's time. We all enjoyed the game. Argentina will learn a lesson, and also a message to all the other teams that don't take your place for granted in this tournament.
Well, there were plenty of goals yesterday in Pool A. Spain and New Zealand ended up 2-2, and the second game, which we've just talked about, Argentina lost 5-3 against France. There was lots of goals, but the man who got the most was 2 on the day, Gonzalo Payet, and he is today's hero top goal scorer.
Payet, yes he can. Wow, what a drag flick that was. Well, if Beckery was unlucky the time before, he had no choice that time.
He's unstoppable, and also on the right side, even their free forwards covering the right angle. They were rushing, covering the left. Look at this, the left wasn't available for Gonzalo Payet. That's why he is the best in the world, Gonzalo Payet.
Well, that was Pool A done and dusted. Today we are firmly focused on Pool B, and we thought yesterday had all to play for. I think today is a little bit of the same story. Here we go. Australia are pretty much qualified, well they have, going into the next stage of the tournament. But gentlemen, I'll come to you, Rick. China, Ireland and England.
Well, there's a range of possibilities, and for China, they want to obviously get a point off Australia. That would assure them of a place. If they lose, then they want to lose by the smallest margin possible. Their goal difference could make the difference. Ireland and England, well, England has to win. That's the only way they can get there. Ireland can get there with a draw, but it's replete with possibilities, and in the end, the number of goals scored, the field goals scored, the penalty corner scored, all of those may come into the permutations. We won't be able to figure all of that out until we get to the second game.
And Jagbeer, when we look at that table there, although Ireland and England will be focusing firmly on their game, it's safe to say the coaches especially will have one eye on the Australia-China game, because it's quite a lot is dependent on China.
Yes, especially what we went through when we saw France, Argentina. I'm sure China will be keeping full focus, especially the coach Kim, because he's got everything to play for in this tournament. He is one guy who believes in commitment. I still remember Sydney Olympics 2000. It was Sohail Abbas versus Korea because they were in the semi-finals and they had to beat Pakistan. And to beat Pakistan, they had to stop Sohail Abbas. There were 3 to 4 players injured running in the line of the ball every time just to stop those penalty corners. So now we understand why Kim has taken this challenge. He wants to prepare the team. We have seen their commitment in the previous 2 matches, and I'm sure he will have some surprises like he had one as a penalty corner variation U-turn, which was excellent.
Well, they'll certainly be putting on their body on the line today because it's so important today's match. Here's our Kajaria Tiles face-off.
We are from China.
We're Team Australia.
Our dream will come true.
Once a champion, always a champion.
We can win the World Cup.
We're not letting anyone take the cup away from us. We're Team Australia and we're here to win the World Cup once again.
Well, that was short and sweet. I think both teams believe that they can go on to win. But Rick, let's talk about China. Jagbir, you've talked about them putting their body on the line, what it means to Kim, how they'll be preparing this team. What can we expect to see from them tonight?
Well, what we've seen from China is a team that's organised, a team that's fluent, more fluent than probably people gave them credit for. There's Coach Kim. He's the reason that they're organised. They've got a terrific work ethic, but they're skilled also, and perhaps that's one of the things that surprise people. You see their players just strolling around, warming up. Once the game starts, there'll be real intensity in their movement, an intensity that needs to be very high if they're going to match Australia.
Yeah, because Australia can't write them off because they've played well. They have, they've earned the 2 points that they have.
Yeah, they've had 2 draws. They're undefeated so far in the tournament. There's lots of teams who would like to be in that position. This man knows that the secret of them getting into the next round is low goals against. So you reckon that China's going to build a wall today, and it'll be a high wall and a difficult wall for Australia to scale.
And Jagbir, when we look at the coach there, Kim, in his previous interviews, he says that China need to take their chances for them to progress. So that's going to be key for them, isn't it?
Very crucial. The lead they took in the 5th minute with that brilliant skills he showed, displayed in the skill goal, that was an excellent goal. The penalty corner variation they took was an excellent workout, a good homework done, how to beat the goalkeeper. They are not only defending well, but on the counters, they are doing a great job. They may not be getting as many circle entries like the opposite teams are getting, but whenever they are there, they look more effective.
Well, obviously their head coach Kim will be looking for that effectiveness tonight. Dan Strange has been speaking to him.
China's excellent performances at this Odisha World Cup may not come as such a surprise if I tell you that their Korean coach, Coach Kim, coached the Korean men's team in 2000 to an Olympic silver medal, but also his coaching education started right here in India.
Yes, I learned hockey in India in 1985 to 86, diploma course in Patiala.
The NIS Patiala is a place where Balkishan Singh was your mentor. What he taught you really means a lot to you.
Yeah, I was a lucky coach because I met a very, very great coach, Mr. Balkishan Singh. He just, not only teach it to hockeys, he teach me about some brilliant ideas how to become a good coach.
China, your approach in this World Cup is very attacking. It's no surprise with your Indian education. Against Australia, will you still be attacking?
Yes, of course. If didn't score, we can't win the games. Okay, what is the game means? Okay, we try to our best. But ability is better or not better, doesn't matter. We try to do something. Yes, the coach is always, we prepare for winning games, not the losing games.
Well, if China do spring a surprise against Australia, India will have had a very big say in the strategy of Coach Kim.
Well, we've heard from the China camp. Rick, let's turn our focus to Australia, the world #1, potentially one of the favourites to go ahead and win this tournament. What do you make of their performance so far?
Well, they're through the quarterfinals. They're #1 in the world. They're playing number 17. Yesterday we saw #2 beaten by 20, so we're concerned. Australia would understand that. They don't underestimate any team. I think that's a characteristic we have, and I think it's important. This team is different to the team that played in the last World Cup. It's nowhere near as experienced. There's only 7 of the players who were playing then, so there's a fair bit of change gone. They've still got a very powerful midfield. I think their goalkeeping and their defence is pretty good. They've had to replace Knowles. That's a difficult one. But the real test for Australia is the work of their strikers, and it depends on how well their strikers go to whether or not they can win this tournament. They've got a range of relatively inexperienced guys. The most experienced guy, of course, is Mitten, but there's Blake Govers, you can see there. He's very important. He scores from the corners. Wetton playing in the midfield now, not a striker, but the test will be whether or not Australia's strikers are up to it. We saw a wonderful goal on the first day from Tim Brand. We've seen Craig play his part in setting up goals. The test will be, can these guys deliver over the next week?
Jugbeer, you were a forward in your heyday, scored many goals. Is that the difference between Australia going on even a step further in this tournament?
I would take it forward where Rick said it's about attack. In the previous World Cup, we saw Australia score a number of goals, more than 15 goals in their pool matches. And in this tournament, we've yet to see them get that flair which Australia is more popular for. They are a team which loves to command. They want to set their tone and force the opponents to dance to their tune, which is not happening because they were not getting those breakthroughs. Against England also, it was only the last 10 minutes where they could strike. But once they started their strike, you suddenly started feeling, yes, it's Australia, #1 team in the world which is playing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some key performance from key players. And one of those key players will be Jake Wetton. Here's what he thought on today's game.
Yeah, happy with the win. We knew England was going to be a very difficult opponent. And to come away with the 3 points and qualify for the quarterfinals is a really big step for us. And now we're all focused in on China tomorrow night. Their defensive game is quite solid, conceding only three goals in 2 games. Yeah, their goalkeeper's playing really well, and their defenders are tackling well and getting into positions inside the defensive circle, which makes it hard for teams to score against. So, like I said, we've done our homework and hopefully come up with a game plan where we can get past their defence and hopefully put some goals on the board. The extra game can be maybe positive for a team to keep their sharpness. I think if we do top our pool, we either have 4 or 5 days off, which will be very difficult. A tournament we haven't played like this before. So yeah, we're finding out different ways of how to utilise those rest days. Training has been one aspect, getting out of the hotel and things like that. So it has its positives definitely with an extra couple of days rest, but also yeah, having an extra game. We're used to playing back-to-back games and every team is, so I don't think it's going to affect much for that extra game.
Well, Rick, you talked about the Australian attack. They're fully aware of how defensively strong China are. Do you think that could be something in the back of the head, nagging at them, thinking that they do have to get better at?
Well, you're going to have to play against good goalkeepers, and Wang has been terrific in the net. So they understand they're going to have to beat him. They're going to have to beat him in the field. They're going to have to be effective with their corners. They only scored 1 corner so far, so that would be an area that they would want to take advantage of today. In some ways, they've qualified for the quarterfinal already. This is a preparation game for the quarterfinal, and so it's important for Australia to play well and to be fluent. They'll be wanting to do that today.
Definitely, and hopefully give the Kalinga Stadium crowds something to cheer about. Also here in the city, there's plenty to see and do, including a very special moment, which I got to experience here in today's Bhubaneswar Hero Diaries.
Bhubaneswar city is shining and how every major city wall has turned into an artist's canvas, and every painting is telling a story. Today on my Hero Passion X Pro, I take you to witness one such story. mirror on the wall. Samantha, quick, how does it feel to be on the shining walls of Bhubaneswar city?
It's crazy. We're on the other side of the world for me from home, and to actually drive past in a taxi and see myself here, I was so overwhelmed, emotional, and yeah, a little bit of a tear came out. So really
sweet. But do you remember the day? Do you remember this moment?
I do. It was the photograph actually I have in a frame at home, so that's why I recognised it. It was at the Champions Trophy before Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games. We were playing New Zealand, so I like to think that I was making a good tackle there, or a match-winning pass.
He's the guy who has made your painting.
Thank you so much.
मते बेस खुशी लागुची
और कितना टाइम लगा इस पेंटिंग को बनने में?
ये पेंटिंग बनाने को हमको घंटा लगी जी, घंटा लगी।
1 घंटे में आपने बना दिया. And he just made it in an hour, by the way.
So how long did it take? Just an hour?
Just an hour.
Incredible. Very, very good.
Thank you so much, Raju. Thank you, Samantha, for talking to us. It's time I should take some pictures for your Instagram post.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
I would do that.
Let's do it.
Well, incredible things can happen in an hour, like a painting. But in the next hour or so, we'll have a clearer picture of how Pool B will be panning out. First up, it's Australia versus China. It's going to be a very interesting one here at the Kalinga Stadium. It's coming up next.
Defending World Cup champions Australia are 2 wins from 2 in their opening matches here at the Odisha Men's Hockey World Cup. Ireland beaten by 2-1, and then England put to the sword 3 goals in the final quarter, giving them a 3-0 victory. But tonight in their way stand the debutants, China. In their first World Cup, the world number 17 ranked side have drawn with England and Ireland. Can they upset the world rankings once again against the number 1 side in the world? Day 10 of this edition, Men's World Cup, and will we see the drama of 24 hours ago? 2 matches from Pool B, and we'll have the final standings after that. First up, it's Australia against China. Well, Australia already know they're in the quarterfinals. They have already won the pool with a match to spare. But as for China, well, there's every permutation. They could finish second, they could finish third, they could even go home by the time we finish play here this evening, because here is the Pool B standings. China, 2 draws from 2 matches, sit in second. Ireland and England just below them. But there is a possibility that if Australia win by more than 4 goals and then England and Ireland play out a draw, then China will go home. Okay, let's get down onto the pitch. Dan Strange has been speaking with the Australian coach.
Colin, you're already confirmed quarter-finalists. China have it all to play for. How do your boys approach this game?
Yeah, very much like it is an important game for us. We want to keep building momentum. We were better against England, but it took 3 quarters to get on the scoreboard. So we want a more consistent performance today.
Against England, though, your finishing at the end of in the 4th quarter was superb. That must have been a real positive from your side.
Yeah, look, you know, we don't mind whether we score field goals or penalty corners, obviously, but it was very good, the field goals, and sometimes it's the other way around. But you know, we want to keep finishing well. That's the name of the game.
Good luck today against China.
Thank you.
So thoughts of Colin Batch, the head coach of Australia. Let's go to the other side of the technical table and hear from Kim Siang-Rul.
We're here with Coach Kim of China. Coach Kim, you've got every chance of qualifying from Pool B. How do you make sure your team get themselves over the line?
Because today is against Australia, we have to play much better. Otherwise, maybe we'll not qualify for the next round. But today, the result is very important. Okay, draw, even lost, but we don't give them lots of goals. Okay, less than 2 goals, we'll qualify for the next round. Not care about the next matches. Yeah.
Good luck today against Australia.
Thank you very much.
No, Coach Kim will certainly be doing his maths. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out. There's so many permutations that to take you through them all would be rather confusing. So we'll go through them as and when we get to them. But at the moment, the players are waiting to come out onto this fantastic pitch. So Pool B enters its final stage this evening. Australia take on China, the world number 1 up against the world number 17 side. And then it's a real Northern European clash, a derby, as Ireland face England. The Australian fans, well, they're very relaxed. They know that their team are already quarter-finalists, but everybody else is just waiting to see who will finish second in Pool B, who will finish third. And of course, sadly, we're going to lose one team tonight who will be flying home and taking no further part in this competition. Well, here come the 2 captains, Eddie Ockenden and Du Chen, and the players out behind them. China have shown real determination, real verve, real energy. They're going to need that and possibly a little bit more this evening against the 2-time world champions. Australia looking for 3 in a row. First time any nation would have achieved that if they can take the trophy home a week on Sunday. So the players are out, and now the handshake. Sri Sanjay Kumar Singh, IAS Chairman come Managing Director, Odisha Industrial Infrastructure Development Corporation, walks forward with Commander R.K. Srivastava on the left of screen, Executive Director of Hockey India, and he'll shake hands with Du Chen, and then Lim Hong Zhen and Diego Barbas. And then, Eddie Ockenden, sorry. The steps to one side, and we will have the national anthems of both countries. Australia's will be first, and then that of China. So here we go then. Match number 19 about to get underway. Australia up against China. Let's have a look at the Australian lineup. And Andrew Charter sets a new record for caps for an Australian goalkeeper. 163 today, beating the previous record of Lachlan Dreher. Ockenden, Howard, Hayward, Swan across the back. Wetton, Zalewski, Beale the midfield. Gubbers, Mitten and Craig, the men up front looking to score the goals for Australia. And Jake Wetton, well, playing cap number 174 tonight from Queensland, originally in the city of Brisbane, now resides in Western Australia. 63 goals to his name in the Australian shirt, debut in 2011. Well, let's have a look now at the China lineup, and they start with Wang in goal. Then across the back it's Ao, Meng, Du and Guo. Midfield of Su, Guo and Ao. And the front two of Su and Yi. So number 22, Du Delake, 28 years of age, wins his 59th cap tonight. Their only real penalty corner threat of the 32 PCs China has scored in the last 4-year cycle. This man here has scored 21 of them. So the two umpires for this one, Diego Barbas from Argentina on the right, Lim Hong Zhen from Singapore on the left. Simon Taylor from New Zealand is the video umpire, should we require him. So here we go then. This final pool match for Australia and China about to get underway.
10, 9,
8, 7,
6,
5, 4,
3,
2, 1. Let's play.
China then the world ranked number 17 side in the red shirt, black shorts, red socks. Get us underway. Australia, as always, in the gold and green, attacking the goal to our left-hand side. And joining me, Charlie Broom, in the commentary box for this one, it's the former Kookaburra head coach, Rick Charlesworth. And Rick, China have confounded the world rankings in their two previous encounters in this competition. They've certainly been worthy of their place here at this World Cup.
Well, I think they've surprised a lot of people. They've played with fluency, they've played with determination and skill, and they've been organised, and it's a credit to their coach, Kim, former Korean coach who's done a marvellous job with this group. They have some seriously good players. One of them, number 1 there, Gao, scored a brilliant goal in the first day, and Australia has the job ahead of them. They are an accomplished team. They would expect to win this game. China will have other thoughts.
Australia get a little lucky with that deflection. Blake Govers picks it up, fires it goal bound. And 16 had a little away swing on it.
It certainly did. Just past the far post. He was looking for Craig, and Craig was nearly there, but just a couple of metres away. It's a powerful ball, and well left by the goalkeeper. Good judgment by him.
And it's going to be interesting, I think, from here to see how China deal with the Australian press. That is one thing they might not have been able to come up against in their last 2 games. Certainly the intensity and the longevity of the press.
Yeah, I think what you see from a lot of the teams is they play half court, they fall away, so your defenders have time. I would expect that Australia won't give them that time today, and that'll be a challenge for these Chinese defenders. They're quite skillful, but they're probably not used to that sort of pressure.
So the ball on the far side with Ockenden. He throws the aerial ball looking for Swan. Swan takes it down nicely. Swan into the circle, and he's dispossessed at the last moment by Ao Shuzhou, but they've won the free hit, Australia. China not 5 when Swan received the ball. Be taken by Beale. Hayward. Down the back they go. Up to the circle edge, an important interception. China will try and build here. Lovely little ball under. Oh, it just didn't need to be quite so hard, and China would have been away. As it is, they've got to defend again. Wetter driving onto the foot, and Zalewski will take the free hit.
When you knew it wasn't his, but he just was cunning enough to delay by taking the ball away, and so Australia couldn't take a quick free hit.
From a China perspective, they really need to try and keep a clean sheet for as long as possible, and if they can nick a goal, so much the better.
Well, Coach Kim said it beforehand. He said, if we do lose, we're going to lose by less than 2 goals. He's done the sums. He understands the situation. There's a whole range of permutations. It's pretty difficult to get on top of them all. But as the game develops, and as this and the later game develop, we'll work out what's happening in this pool.
Shot comes in and blazed over by Jake Wetton. That was a real opportunity for Australia, but Wetton just gets underneath it and it clears the bar. You can see that he's frustrated with himself.
Beautiful pass from Ockenden. Wetton, well, he had space and an opportunity. We saw yesterday, Argentina started with a couple of chances early, one real sitter, even much easier than that shot, and they didn't score, and in the end it cost them. Hopefully Australia won't be ruining that miss.
Yeah, Coach Kim is in charge of that Korean side that went down in that epic Olympic final in Sydney. Rick, did you watch that game?
I was there, I watched it, went all the way to penalties in the end, and it really was a marvellous match, and the team that he coached from Korea, they played a magnificent tournament. They played very well for a number of years. There's Beale bringing the ball out from the back, and real pressure from the Chinese.
China giving Australia a taste of their own medicine, pressing high up the park, and they get the reward with an error from Swan.
Very aggressive by China, and Kim said before the game, he said, yeah, we're going to attack too. You have to be able to put the other team under pressure. You can't just defend for the whole game, and I think he understands that. He's coached a team that played in the Olympic final. He's a person of a lot of experience.
And that Olympic final, if memory serves me correctly, were the Dutch 3-1 up or 3-0 up with about 5 to go. I went for a walk thinking it was over. I came back half an hour later, they were still playing.
Yeah, they came back, they had extra time and then penalties.
Australia into the circle, pull back, and that's going to be a penalty corner. There might have been an Australian foot before the Chinese foot.
Chinese stopped playing, they'd have to be sure of this. They wouldn't want to waste their referral this early.
Before the ball came into the D.
Okay, I'll take a look for a foot.
Before it came into the D.
And the Australians aren't even setting up for the corner, so I think they know, and the Chinese certainly aren't setting up to defend the corner, so I think they know. It'd be very interesting to see. I don't imagine they would frivolously use their referral at this stage.
Yeah, changes direction, doesn't it?
Well, I think it probably just hit the outside of Craig's foot there. Chinese didn't stop. We'll get another view of it here.
Definitely changes direction.
Looks like it did.
Okay, let's listen in.
Lim, I have a decision for you. It's hit an Australia foot, be a free hit to China, and China keep their referral.
Thank you.
And the players all knew they were setting up China. Good referral. Saved them a corner defence, and now they can come out.
This is our way Bao. Meng Di Hao will thank him for that pass. He's dispossessed by Wotherspoon. We're into the circle. That's well, good battling here from Brand, and there Harvey just getting it caught underneath himself, but Australia applying yet more pressure.
Ball came to Harvey on the edge of the circle, just mishandled. Long corner, and Australia still have the ball in their attacking area.
There is Dawson. And dropping short is Wetton. Everybody bar Charter now in the China half.
And the English and the Irish, of course, will be barracking for Australia today. That's quite unusual. They'll be wanting Australia to get a pile of goals
that really
here.
will be painful.
Well, that must be hard for them.
Ball into the circle, Wotherspoon battling, but China get it clear and they keep possession.
Clever little touch from Ogilvie into the circle there, changes the direction of it.
But if you look at the China lineup, they have one player with over 100 caps in their ranks.
It's up, it's up, it's
That's number 30, Ao Wei Bo, and they have 4 players coming into this tournament with under 10 caps. They really don't have the exposure at this level. You compare that to Australia, and well, they have Ockenden, who is way out in front, but then they have 10 players with over 100 caps.
Well, a significant difference. But I've always been of the view that experience is an overrated commodity, Charlie. It's how quickly you learn, and this team has learnt fast. They obviously play in a domestic competition of quality, and that's allowed them to get to this standard.
The other flip side, of course, to that, backing that up, is you come into a tournament like this, you've got no emotional baggage from previous defeats. You've got everything to prove and nothing to lose.
And I think we saw that in the first days.
Can't pick it up, can Wetton. That's as it stands, and that will do China very nicely, because it means that should England and Ireland play out a draw, then they will qualify in second place, and if either one of those two win, then they'll qualify in third place. So this is nicely poised at the moment for China, and it could get a little nicer. The ball is spread out to Yuen Long on this right-hand side. He comes inside, gets the foot of Tim Howard, and it's a free hit.
Careful with the tackle, careful.
Guo Zhixiang ran the ball through the middle field there. He plays in the centre, number 23, and he really is quite a creative player. His namesake, who number 1, Guo Zhiping, scored, of course, a marvellous goal on the first day. Probably one of the goals of the tournament.
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it, against England? Lovely ball forward. That's brilliantly picked up, and China having a little go at Australia now. The ball is with Guan, and crossing.
And Swan couldn't get to the tackle there. Someone ran in front.
There's the French team.
They're pretty happy with themselves. They had a marvellous result yesterday.
Clement nearest to us, and the reason they are here, as we see the ball come in.
Pretty good work by Swan, was shadowing him, and there he just missed the obstruction. Ball's at the other end.
And down the other end here is Tom Craig trying to make something happen, and taking it away is Ao Yang, and we're going to go upstairs for a video referral. Let's listen in. I'm in.
Yes, Lim.
For a back of the stick just here.
Okay, we'll have a look.
Thank you. For the stick.
And Tom Craig called the referral. The Chinese are putting their gear on behind the goal. I think we know the outcome here, Charlie. This is just to confirm it. Ball in there. Oh yeah, that's the back of the stick. There's no question about that. This will take only seconds.
Lim, I have a decision for you. It's a back of the stick by the China player, penalty corner, and Australia keep their referral.
The umpires, the players are almost umpiring the game for the umpires at the moment. It's good to see.
As it should be, and probably in those situations, somebody could just say, yeah, it's a corner, and we would avoid having to go to the referral. So I think very often players know they get it right. There's not that many of them that are interpretations.
Blake Govers nearest to us, and behind him, Corey Weir, wearing 3 in the headband. It comes to Govers. Govers picks up, and Govers puts it into the top right-hand corner. And the Kookaburras have the lead. Blake Govers, his 3rd goal in as many games. And he makes it look ever so easy. But trust me, it isn't. It's all about practice, practice, practice. And he delivers, crucially, when Australia need him.
Very fluent, beautiful flick. And the goalkeeper went with his left hand. He was there waiting, but this is too fast. Govers has real power, real quality in his corner. And he's scored in every game, once with a field goal, 2 penalty corners. That's very good for Australia, a good start. And of course, that'll have England cheering, Charlie.
Not just yet, Rick, not just yet.
Yeah, no. Australia needs to get more, and China have been competitive. Really, it's the best chance Australia's had. They had one that was fired over earlier, but 1-0, a beginning.
China want the ball. Corey Weir continues to play on and almost comes away with the ball. He's had a decent tournament, Corey Weir.
And Blake Govers is getting confident with his corners is important for Australia. Of course, his brother, for a long time, was a very important part of this Australian attack. Kieran Govers, brought down by injuries earlier this year, but he really did have a marvellous career, and I suspect in the backyard, those two playing against one another developed this level of skill.
There's more than 2 of them, wasn't there? How many there?
Yeah, and indeed I played against their father. It's a scary thought, isn't it? A long, long time ago.
I'm not sure who'd be the most frightening to play against, you or his father.
That was in under-16s back in the 60s, Charlie.
Oh, well,
well before you were thought of.
Let's forward wind to right here, and Australia pressing China once again, and Govers wins the free hit, taken by Swan. Govers into the circle, lovely 3D skills from Govers, pulls it back, but there is a China defender to turn position over, and it's fired into Weir. Actually, Weir was running away thinking it was a China ball, but it's been given to Australia. Swan stands over it.
I think it hit Swanee in the leg. He wouldn't have enjoyed that, but luckily the shin pad did the job.
Hayward to Dawson over on that right-hand side. Back to Hayward. Swan is to his left, but Zalewski takes possession. Zalewski will drop it back out to Hayward. Dawson to his right-hand side. Nice patient play by Australia, and they'll just turn and come back round again, although a little bit of pressure applied by Soo Jun to Hayward, so they go up that right-hand flank, and here is Harvey. Harvey dropping it off onto the reverse stick. There's Govers, still going into the circle. Blake Govers can't quite find the foot, and Butalake finds himself under pressure from the Australian goal scorer. There's some support on the sideline. Well done, Blake Govers. Good job.
Good encouragement there.
Hayward, Zalewski. Play forward and in by Howard. And a chance, lovely ball back in, but Butalake is there once more. Nangnan.
A good lead at the front there by Tim Brand. Long pass, found him, ball into the circle. Here's the flick. Govers wasn't entirely a perfect stop, so he did well to gather it, and he fired it with great power and accuracy. He's a high quality flicker, and he hasn't yet, I don't believe, reached maturity. So there's much more ahead of Govers.
Real pace on that, even though it was pretty much, the keeper didn't have to move too far to his right, but he's got to get his hands up. And China, can they respond?
Swan, lovely play.
Swan to Zalewski. Zalewski gets his head up, plays it out the right-hand side. Here is Flynn Ogilvie. Ogilvie comes back inside, outside him. And the ball played neatly up into the circle, and Brand is battling. And he can't win anything there.
Lovely little combination on the right there. Ogilvie, Ockenden, into the circle, into Brand. Nice combinations from Australia, looking a little bit more fluent than perhaps in earlier games.
Oh, one over, and they could be in trouble here because Beale driving at the circle, gets the ball back. Beale up to the edge of the circle, played across, and somehow China didn't manage to get it across the face of goal. Du Chen, the skipper, getting in the way.
Well, he's a very good defender and very ardent. He did a good job.
Too far. They're all set up in the middle. Way too far.
So here come Australia once more, and it's been all kookaburras in this early quarter.
Stick.
Onto the stick of Meng Nan. So the reason the French are here, of course, is because in their crossover match, the winner will play Australia. Not only that, they play the third in this pool, which could well be China. So they've got doing double homework on this one.
Well, yeah, and they'll be watching the next game too, because out of these two games is their next two opponents.
Drop to the edge of the circle. Zalewski fires, and the keeper makes a save. Penalty corner. Well, it was at him, but he had to make the save, and he did. And Zalewski wins the penalty corner. Rick, you impressed with Australia at the moment? They've started with real gusto, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Zalewski would have liked to have hit this one a little bit wider. The goalkeeper wing makes the save, but the secret is you've got to save the saverables. He did that, but he didn't handle the rebound. The rebound means Australia gets another chance. Wheel to push out. Hayward's there in the battery.
We'll go at 0.
And we don't have Blake Govers on the field, so Hayward would be my choice here.
Yeah, Hayward to the near battery. It goes to Hayward. Hayward picks up. Good save down to his right-hand side. Still chance for Wotherspoon, who brings it down nicely. Wotherspoon plays across the face of goal and turned in by Zalewski. And Australia make it 2-0. Keeper with an excellent save from the first phase of the penalty corner. Wotherspoon kept it alive inside the circle, played it across the face of goal, and Aaron Zalewski, who missed the first game through illness, is on the score sheet in the third.
There's the shot. It was a very good save, a very good flick. Wotherspoon does well. He keeps it down, and that pass to Zalewski, well, unguarded. That's as easy a goal as you'll get in international hockey, tapping it past the goalkeeper. Beale was on the far post, and Batch is very happy with that. Good start.
Yeah, they were lining up on the back post, weren't they, the Australians? Aaron Zalewski finds the target. And Australia, well, perfect start for them. They are in control of this opening quarter. Zalewski scoring only his 22nd goal for Australia, and China look to hit back. Su wins the free hit. It's going to have to be quick. Final seconds. Got to move it 10. They're going to run out of time here.
Long corner.
China, there is the quarter time hooter, and Australia are in front comfortably. 2-0. They have outplayed China from the very first whistle to the last whistle of the quarter. Zalewski with the second after Govers have put them in front. And the defending world champions are looking good in their final pool match. Australia, after the first 15 minutes, lead China by 2-0.
Govers with the ball. There's the ball fired, looking for Craig on the far post. Just not quite the connection. It was a very fast, hard ball. Not a bad idea. Wetton has a great chance here over the top. and it looked like Australia could be frivolously missing chances, but Blake Govers with that shot on the corner was emphatic. And then the next corner, another very good shot from Hayward, brought down by Witherspoon, and there, sitting in the middle, is Zalewski to finish off.
China defence had been sucked towards the ball, and there was nobody on the right-hand side of the circle. But look at the circle penetrations, 14-1, 5 shots, 2 goals from 2 penalty corners. It's a dominant display, as you'll see, in an opening quarter by Australia. And Australia dominating China here. 74% of the attacking play has been in the China half. And China, well, they need to try and work out how they can hurt Australia. It's a difficult problem to solve. Many have tried, many have failed. But can China try and get something out of this game? It's a big ask. China then get this second quarter underway, trailing Australia by 2-0. And the loose pass straight to Mitten, puts them on the back foot already. Mitten into the circle, under the arm it comes. Here come Australia, and Craig just fluffed his lines at the last moment.
Well, straight into the Chinese defensive circle, and if this continues, they're in trouble.
Can't go to ground, it's 3-0. Craig scores inside the opening 30 seconds of the second quarter. And yeah, starting to fear for China now. And when they looked at the fixtures, they probably wanted to play Australia first, in all honesty, because Australia would have been perhaps cold out the blocks in the World Cup. But here, brilliant finish.
Craig just pushes it in the end. Chinese tackle missed here though. Slipped, missed the ball, and the goalkeeper in all sorts of trouble. Nothing much he could do. Craig goes beyond him, pushes it into the net. 3-0.
Tom Craig in the 16th minute gets his first goal in a World Cup, so that's a little feather in his cap.
And the Australians are very aggressive now, and this can make it much harder for China.
Ro Jin, ball forward and unlucky for Su Wenlin.
But China know, here's the dilemma for them now. They're 3 down already, and we're only in the second quarter. They know they have to score, they have to do more, and if this continues, then they're in real trouble. We saw this the other day, I think, when Malaysia played the Netherlands. Netherlands got a break, and then they just continued on and on.
They can't keep missing the ball like this, because Craig into the circle once more, weighs up his options, tries to find Jake Harvey, but China gets stick on ball. But they're the architect of their own downfall here, China. Right from the start of this quarter, they gave away possession. Then they missed the trap in the circle, and the keeper, well, he was in no man's land, but he was exposed, and so they hardly touched the ball from the restart.
And you get tentative, the scores against you. We saw it from Malaysia. They didn't play with the quality they're capable of, because they were just facing, you know, continuous attacks, continuous pressure. And there's some of the Chinese players are just mishandling. We saw the players slip and miss the tackle. We've seen some mistraps in the circle. The quality of their skill hasn't been what you'd expect in Australia. Are pretty ruthless in this situation.
Weir brings it forward, has Dawson to his left if he wants, but look how much space is afforded to Ogilvie. Ogilvie into the circle. Taken by Wetton, long corner.
And they're doing all of their defending in the circle. Any mistake, it's a corner, more pressure, balls spill to people.
Weir, lovely little ball inside from Blake Govers. And China just get it out, and Australia have another go. Yeah,
and so when they do get the ball in the circle, they just push it out, it goes to the sideline, back it comes. The possession figures, well, 64%, 36, but 79% of that possession by Australia has been in China's half. And this man's worried.
Well, He's not the first, and he won't be the last coach to be worried when playing Australia. Lovely ball into the circle, brilliant work. Can they finish it off? Penalty corner. Jake Harvey with some wonderful skill, bringing it down and driving at the keeper and winning the penalty corner. And the body language between the two sides is frightening.
Dawson's ball high, look at this skill to bring the ball down, keep it there. Chinese players have to give him 5 metres, and then the chance hits the foot. Nothing that Al could do, and head in hands, Kim watching from the sidelines, and Blake Govers is there for another chance.
Govers looks like the way he just sort of marks the pitch, like he's sort of taking a guard at cricket.
Well, he's a Pilat's quality, not quite there yet, but he's that quality, I think.
And it comes, Govers, 4-0. Straight through the goalkeeper. And Blake Govers gets his 4th of the tournament and Australia's 4th in the match.
We're only halfway, we're less than halfway through the game, and Blake Govers is top scorer in the tournament now, level with Piat, so real quality.
Oh, it takes a deflection off the #1 runner, which just wrong foots the keeper.
Very hard for the keeper when that happens. I feel sorry for him, nothing much he could have done. A bit unlucky, but there's real power there.
Well, Australia lead by 4 goals to 0, and we still have, what, 41 minutes left, and, well, the biggest win in World Cup history is a 12-0. Australia were the team to record that now. Let's have a look as it stands. Now, China, as you can see, have a -4 goal difference. So any type of draw between England and Ireland, and China will go home.
God forbid that they would collude. I can't imagine that'll happen. England and Ireland? No, Charlie? It's not going to happen, is it?
No.
I wouldn't think so, but that possibility is there, and perhaps late in the game, if things are level, then that could happen.
I seem to remember, wasn't there a World Cup we were talking about? Was it the Dutch played out a 0-0 draw? We were talking about 0-0s in World Cups, and you said they played a 0-0 draw to put Australia out?
Germany and the Netherlands. No, they put India out, I think, in 1994 in Australia. It was quite controversial. Not many shots on goal, 0-0, and they both went through. So I suppose that possibility looms. China know now they've got to do more.
Yeah, that 12-0 win for Australia came against South Africa in 2010. That's the highest World Cup score, and you were at the helm.
Yeah, I think Luke Dorner scored 4 that day, and I don't expect this will be of that magnitude, this result, but it's not looking good for China, and it's hard now. Australia's got their tails up, they're confident, they're moving fluently, and if Australia just concentrates on playing their game, they don't get too fancy, then they'll keep making chances.
Well, the one thing we know with that 4th goal, Rick, is we're not going to have we might have a shootout actually if China score. So let's not go down that route. We'll wait that.
It's too complicated for us, I think, Charlie.
And well left. Do Talaki. Let's have another look, Rick.
Here it is. I feel sorry for Wang. He's moving to his right. Ball hits the runner's foot, just deflects a little bit. That's enough to beat you when the ball's moving at that pace. 110, between 110 and 120 Ks.
Oh, that's what, somewhere between 60 and 70 miles an hour, isn't it?
Here's the action. It's good action. Here's a quality flicker. And the beauty of this is that Govers will be very confident now. He'll go into this, he'll continue this tournament with real belief.
China have picked up a card. I think it's Al Weibo who has got to sit down. He's got to hurry up. It doesn't start until he's sat down. Now he's just sat down, so it's a little over 2 minutes that China are going to be short-handed. If it doesn't rain, it pours. Dawson keen to get on with it.
With a man advantage, you've got to think Australia's going to get there again. And they do, straight away. Corey Weir just carried it 5 metres, found a foot. Here it is. There, off the stick, onto the foot. And it looks so easy when things are going your way. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult to get penetration. What will Australia do here? Haywood again. Haywood prefers the postman side. Will he go that side? Last time he went the goalkeeper's right.
Haywood to the left, Weir to the right. And it goes to Haywood. Haywood picks up. Good number one running. We'll have another penalty corner. Guo and Ao snuffing that one out.
There's no 40, there's no 40, we go.
They've got to hurry, they don't get too much time. There's Haywood's action. He likes to flick to his right, and of course the danger then is you get the runner. Two runners running together is a phalanx.
Haywood waits again. It is Haywood, and then takes over his Dawson with the slap onto the foot of Guo, so we'll have another go. Third in a row.
It's interesting when you get one after another after another. My inclination is just keep firing them. The runners get sick of getting hit, and I would have liked to see. I'd like to see them have another go here. Teams often want a variation.
Haywood picks it up and finds the bottom corner to the keeper's right-hand side, and it is 5-0, and we're not even at the midpoint of the second quarter yet, and Australia are really putting China to the sword here. Jeremy Haywood with the penalty corner.
Here it is, very good. His last one was very good. The goalkeeper was across, he reached, and he was just a little bit late. And that's a fine flick right in the corner. Real quality, and so it's important that you have other options. Blake Govers has been very good so far in the tournament. Haywood's good. Haywood scored in the last World Cup, and good start by Australia.
Australia 5, China 0. China are really under the cosh. 33% of total possession, but 81% of that in their half. They have been doing an awful lot of defending.
Well, 21 circle penetrations to 1. That says it, really. And penetrations right, left and centre. They're going all around the circle, not just one side or the other.
That goes over the back line, and now China just need a period of possession, but this just shows how ruthless Australia are. They are pressing.
Well, there's still a man down. China's still got a guy sitting on the...
Well, somehow they had a spare man left over, though, China. Su Li Xing was spare on the right-hand side. Dropped inside by Ogilvie, moved on by Harvey, and won back by Yi Wenhui. Here comes Corey Weir trying to disrupt China's attack. China still down to 10, and he's just come off the bench now, and he is back on, so they are 11 v 11 now.
He runs down the left there, nearly got the ball. And just 4 or 5 passes at least trying to keep possession. China, there's some penetration, but Beale's too good.
Yeah, too hard by Yi Wenhui. Picks up, lovely skill from Beale. He can't keep it in play.
Here's Jeremy Haywood's flick, and that is inch perfect, just inside the upright. Wing was there, he's covered it afterwards, but the ball had gone through. Moment in the circle.
Yeah, the crowd just getting a little bit excited. We've enjoyed supporting the underdog. And they get excited again. Whoa! There's Dawson showing his strength.
Just outside, I suspect.
So upended. A chance here perhaps for China. They just can't get the shot away. Across the face of goal, it's Hong Mi. There's another player down. It's Meng Nan who's hit the deck this time.
And when things aren't working for you, you just miss that little touch. The ball just doesn't fall for you. Their best chance there in the circle, and they couldn't make anything of it. Here it is, scrappy but dangerous. There's the ball across. Dawson got a touch on it, fell wide.
Cut to the right by Guo Zhixiang.
Well, early on we saw Guo penetrate with some running, but he's just been defending.
Dropped out by Guan. Now forward from Ming Di Hao, and here is Su Jun.
At least a little bit of possession for China. That's important. They've got to hold the ball for periods, slow down the Australian assault.
Does it once to get past Zaluski, but can't repeat the trick to get past Dawson. And Zaluski with the loose pass gives China possession once more. On the overlap, and just about picked up is by Ao Yang. Still going Ao Yang. Somehow he's still going, and he's won the free hit. Good work, taken really quickly by Meng. Meng into the circle, wins another free hit. As Australia cross.
Hey, don't go straight, okay?
2 or 3 minutes of good play by China. They're on the edge of the circle. Can they do more?
Hey, careful with the body. Don't use the body, okay? Come on. Yeah, okay.
Nothing, just being asked to not be so physical by umpire Barbas. Cut out comfortably by Australia, and here is Beale.
Yeah, Dawson made the interception in the circle there. Really, Mitten needs to be careful. I think he's holding his ground, and the Chinese player trying to back into him, so probably fair enough.
I think the first one was okay. I think the second one just a little bit on with the right.
Yeah, he needs to be careful. Another situation, another ref, and he could find a corner there.
Paul Swan with a beautiful little touch around the corner. And here goes Tom Craig. Craig dispossessed by Duchenne. Swan wins the free hit.
He's a live wire, Swan. Good play to the other side.
And it comes first time from Howard, but Australia need to keep being patient, don't they? Using the widths, just stretching the China defence.
And there's options ahead of the ball. They know about it. We'll go down the right here. There's the penetrations. Look at that. How balanced can you be? 34, 33, 33. Australia have been getting into the circle from all sides.
It's 7-7-7.
Yeah.
They've given the remainder to the middle.
But that shows a pretty balanced piece of attacking.
China 1-2 between Guan and 16, who's Su Jun.
Good effort by Ogilvie. Chased and just got his stick in just enough. That's what you've got to do. You've got to put enough pressure on. You've got to touch the ball. Weatherspoon does well. He's still got that band on his head. He got some stitches before the tournament. I imagine it's just about healed now, but probably just for protection.
Great for identification too.
Well, it helps us.
Ockenden.
The thing about Australia is they're very unlikely to slow down and relent. They're going to keep the pressure up.
Ball comes in beautifully taken across. Oh, what a goal that is! That is a fantastic finish from Jake Wetton. But it was the speed of the hand-eye coordination, the trap, the pass, and Wetton, who somehow managed to sort of turn himself inside out to get the stick on the ground, deflects it into the far corner, and it's Australia 6, China now.
There's the ball fired in, trapped by Gubbers, and there's the deflection. Magnificent. Ockenden's ball penetrates the circle. The trap is dead. That's what it has to be. That's Gubbers, and look at that. That's a wonderful, wonderful goal. Real quality. trap by Govers made the rest of it, and the alertness of Wetton, well, he's brilliant in there.
So Wetton gets his second goal of the tournament, and Australia now have 6 in this game, and we have 1:15 remaining. Rick, your thought? Well, I'll try and get your thoughts on this performance by Australia and half. And yeah, let's go now, quickly.
You'd want to have his thoughts, wouldn't you? Kim would be very worried. Australia won't relent. And they've got a 5 or 6 day break coming up, so they'll want to push themselves as much as possible. This is now a training run, but an important training run, because you won't get a better practice than this, and it's important for them, but they're not a team that's going to slow down, and that's the scary thing for China. How can China get back? It's very hard to imagine.
Colin Batch. Well, he said his side took, what, 3 quarters to get going against England. And they haven't needed that much time tonight. 6 goals in the first half. 2 in the first, 4 in the second quarter. And they're looking for yet another, despite there only being 12 seconds on the clock. Played in towards Ockenden, wins the free hit. And Hill wants to take it quickly. He might run out of time into the circle. And China Wotherspoon. And the whistle comes to China's rescue, and that is the half-time hooter. And Australia dominate from start to finish. Goals from Govers, 2 of them. Zalewski with 1, Craig, Hayward and Wetton, who rounded off the scoring in a 6-goal blitz in the first 30 minutes. The Kookaburras are in fine form heading towards the quarterfinals. Half-time score, Australia 6, China 0. Well, welcome back to the Kalinga Stadium, where at half-time, as you can see, Australia are hugely on top in this Pool B clash. It started in the 10th minute, it finished in the 29th, so 6 goals in 19 minutes for Australia. China have just simply been blown away by the defending champions. And Rick Charlesworth still alongside me. A much better performance by Australia, but China simply haven't been able to cope.
Yeah, Australia could have scored this one at the beginning and would have started even earlier. It was the corner from Blake Govers that started it. Pretty fantastic shot, this one, under the crossbar. Perhaps the goalkeeper just too late, not used to that tempo, that pace. Good shot from Hayward, brought down, and Zaluski just sitting in front of the net. Easiest goal you'll get. Still have to finish it. And then Hayward, his shot, save, here it is again. Zaluski, Beale was waiting, but didn't get a touch on it.
Lovely work here from Tom Craig.
Missed the tackle, that Chinese player just slipped. And as he slips in making the tackle go, he can't do it.
But this was inside the first 30 seconds of the second quarter, and it just gave Australia even more confidence.
And then another corner from Govers. It's good for his confidence. Hits the runner, unlucky, and Ao just helped it past the goalkeeper there. Wing, nothing he could do about that one. Those little deflections are impossible. Hayward thought he'd try, and that's inch perfect. This is only 2 or 3 centimetres inside the post. That's the perfect flick. Goalkeeper's there, but just late. And then
came in, didn't it, outside the post, and sort of came back in.
Looked like it just faded a little bit. China had a chance. Dawson got a stick on it, didn't fall for them. It's their one best opportunity, and then this ball from Ockenden, perfect trap and wonderful deflection. The wonderful part about this is the trap's so good that he just plays the ball so quickly, and Wetton's there. Look at that, that's real combination. That's unstoppable when players do those sorts of things.
Well, they enjoyed that little combination, did Wetton and Govers. But as you can see, the stats all on the left-hand side of the screen. Charter without a shot in that half. In fact, he didn't have a shot in the second half of the last game he played, so it's been a while for him. Okay, let's get down to pitch side, and Dan Strange is with Colin Batch.
Colin, you've managed to do what Argentina failed to do last night. You've controlled the first half.
Yeah, we have. That was very important points before the game. We wanted to come out and play well, good intent. I thought we did that well, and of course we finished well.
And second half, aiming for double figures?
Well, it's about the quality of our performance. We want a consistent 60 minutes, so if we score during that phase, great. But it's more important about the quality of our play, and of course China will come out and be very strong competitors, and they'll make it hard for us.
Good luck for the second half.
Thank you.
Yeah, thoughts of Colin Batch. Let's see if Australia can keep their foot on the pedal. So Australia lead by 6 goals to 0, and a changing goal for Australia. Tyler Lovell has come on, and Andrew Charter is off. Charter didn't face a shot in that half, and in fact he didn't face a shot against England when he came on in the previous match. So yeah, he hasn't had much practice, has he?
He had a couple in the first game, a couple of things to do in the first game, yeah. So, well, you just got to deal with what comes your way if you're a goalkeeper. Goalkeeping can be difficult, and the hardest thing for a goalkeeper in a strong team is that sometimes they just don't get enough play.
Australia get us underway. Playing from left to right, leading by 6-0. China just blown off the park in that first 30 minutes. Tyler Lovell is on in place of Andrew Charter. Australia in the fortunate position of having two excellent goalkeepers. And Colin Batch giving each them a half in every game so far. And here come Australia again, into the stick, and then Jake Harvey transgresses, and it's a free out to China.
Okay.
Quality lead-up play by Australia though. Balls bounced from the middle to the outside. Harvey gave it to Ogilvie. Ogilvie in the circle. Real good combinations. Of course, you're confident. They've got space, and China have been on the back foot. That's why Australia are able to do those things.
Well, we saw his lovely stick skill in that first game against England, but he can't repeat it here. And here comes Tom Craig. Craig plays it back in field, doesn't quite fall for Ogilvie. Zalewski. Weir under a bit of pressure. And he does well, Corey Weir. Zalewski once more. Dawson, Hayward. And it's moved nicely by Australia from right to left, and they have a little bit more space as Harvey plays it back to Hayward, into Zalewski. Weir on this right-hand side. It's beautifully controlled play from Australia right now. Into the circle it goes. And Howe gets his stick on the ball just to break up the attack. But they make it look so easy, from right to left, back again, and the space is there.
Mitten probably could have done a little bit better in the circle, but well brought away by China. Can they get some penetration? Can they hold the ball just for a dozen passes? That's what they need. And there's a swarm of Australians tackling here.
Free hit taken by Meng. And the trap not there for Guo Xishan. Zalewski was out that left-hand side, and an opportunity looking for and finding Ogilvie, and turned in by Tim Brand. Again, unselfish play, played across the circle, and Brand is there to finish it off, and Australia have a 7th.
Well, Brand's second goal for the tournament. There's the pass from Beale, and Ogilvie across the face. Good luck if you're a goalkeeper. Players, since the offside rule went, they can fire wide for those deflections, and that's perfectly done. And not really anything the goalkeeper can do when he's left in that position. But wonderful execution. Unselfish play, good sharing of the ball.
Well, hockey is a game when played simply. It looks very easy, but it's so hard to play simply. But Australia are doing that right now. Their last 2 goals, and China swapped their goalkeepers. So Ao Ji Wei is now in place of Wang Kaiyu. Not sure Wang has done too much wrong, to be honest. He's been pretty exposed, hasn't he?
Well, there aren't too many of these goals which you'd say were goalkeeping errors, but perhaps his confidence is down as it would be.
Wetton picks up, trying to find a free hit taken.
And Kim's probably attitude would be, for changing the goalkeeper, well, you've got to do something. You've got to be seen to be doing something, because Wing hadn't done too much wrong. He just had too many good opportunities against him, too many quality shots.
Chopped out by Harvey. Hayward. Swan in motion down this right-hand side. Beautifully found by Hayward. And it's a free hit to Australia. Lovely skill from Swan. Brought it down, knew what he wanted to do, and he played it to Blake Goverts. It's nothing coming for Australia on that attack.
Looking for a little change of direction to get into the circle. All the teams try that. Good defending by Hayward. He jumped in front.
Can he find Goverts? Goverts! 8-0, and Goverts has a hat-trick. Australia have 8, and China, well, if this is a boxing match, the towel would have been thrown in by now. And they've still got an awfully long way to go. 26 minutes until the final hooter, and Australia lead 8-0.
Jeremy Hayward jumps in front. There's the slip, and Govers, well, he is a quality finisher. Given that sort of opportunity there, he leads away, nicely slipped, hits it first time, and no chance for Al. And the new goalkeeper gets a taste of what Wing's been dealing with. Hat-trick for that man.
Second hat-trick of the tournament after Jeroen Hertzberger, but it's 2 in 2 minutes for Australia. And, well, that world record World Cup score of 12-0 is under threat.
Well, we talked about that earlier in the program, Charlie. We thought, oh no, it might not happen, but you've got to think it's a possibility now. 4 more goals and you're going to equal that record. The way they're going, we've got a lot of time.
Well, we're, what, 4 minutes into this quarter, and they started scoring in the 10th, so what's that? It's 8 goals in 23 minutes.
Yeah, it could happen if they can keep up the tempo. And we've been having a circle penetration almost every minute, the way things have been going, so it really is very, very, very convincing.
But credit Hayward, that was beautiful defending. Look at this.
He jumps in front, that's what you've got to do. And there's the pass, and Govers, well, you aren't going to save that.
Right, brilliant finish from Blake Govers. And, well, thought Australia would keep going to the end, and they have. Ball inside. But, they get it clear. Wetton. To Govers, who's got space. Wotherspoon in front of him if he wants. He's got Ogilvie to his left, but he just runs across the park and drops it out. And Swan will give it to Howard. Here's the last China attack. And Hayward is there. Hayward once more, rolls it forward. Brand comes to collect. Swan. Howard. Ockenden, well, there's a rare mistake from Australia.
And for some teams, this situation would be, oh well, we can put away the cue now, but I don't think that's what you'll get from Australia, and especially facing a 5-day break. Colin Batch talked about that before the game. They'll want to make sure this is the hardest run they can possibly have.
Wait, there are 2 balls.
2 balls on the pitch. And we can get back underway. No, we can't keep it in play. Is he? Good tapping from Ockenden. Australia ball. Looking for Wotherspoon. One back by Guo. Taken quickly. Here's his Guan. He drops it out. Yang tries the Australian circle and gives away the free hit as he impedes Tom Craig.
Bit unlucky, I suspect. I would have thought, you know, there was a possibility of a corner there. Pretty fortunate. He's allowed to change direction.
And Craig has taken it quickly, and they could be in trouble here. And there's another goal. It's Wotherspoon on the far post. And Australia have a 9th. That one perhaps a little fortuitous because of what happened at the other end, but make no mistake about it, it was another clinical attack from the Kookaburras, and Wotherspoon is now on the scoreboard.
Well, nearly lost, slips the pass outside, and Beale beyond the far post, lovely pass. It's a pass, it's not a shot at goal, great credit. And there's Wotherspoon, as you must be, on the far post, down low, just to tip in the easiest goal you'll get.
Well, they enjoyed it in the crowd. Wotherspoon Makes it 9-0, sorry, in the 38th minute, and it's been, well, 3 goals in 5 minutes, and they could have more here. Oh, it's been put over by Tom Craig, but the whistle had already gone.
Just for a push, I suspect, in the circle there as the ball came across. Govers tried to get there first. There's the ball coming across, and interference by Govers, the reason that was disallowed.
And there's the timeline of goals in this quarter. It's 3 and 6 minutes. Weir with a nice ball under the arm to Howard. Here they come again. And this time, Govers just can't get his feet in order.
Well, 4 of the first 6 were corners, but the last 3 goals since half-time have all been field goals.
Stick, 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 stick.
God forbid if Australia get a couple more corners.
Here is Harvey. Drops it back out to Dawson. Dawson, so much time, weighs up his options.
And China, they just don't know what to do. I have some sympathy for them. This can be very difficult, this situation.
Yeah, they had that full court press in there at the very start of the game, that they won possession high out the park, but quite rightly they fear that should they apply all that pressure, then the gaps behind will be ruthlessly exposed. Now, chance here perhaps. Wen Long weighs up the options, drops it to Meng. Meng plays it in. And no touch from a China stick.
Not enough confidence. Just not enough confidence there when China had their chance. And Australia controlling the game. It's all being played in China's defensive half. It's almost like, well, when will we get another opportunity in the circle? Patrolling in the circle, 3 or 4 strikers from Australia. There's a ball.
Yeah, just misguided by Harvey.
Ogilvie nearly connected with it. The idea wasn't bad. Can Australia keep concentration?
Well, that's always the hard thing, isn't it? When you're clearly going to win a game, you're leading by a lot to nothing. Can the players maintain that focus?
Well, the result of the next game is no longer academic. We know what the situation is. China have lost by so many goals that a draw will see England and Ireland go through, and it'll be very interesting, that match, to see what the outcome is.
Rowe tries to play it into the circle. And around the outside will go Su Nixing.
We already mentioned a game played back in '94 where Germany and Netherlands played a 0-0 draw and both went through. And during the break, I ran into Jeroen Delmay, the French coach. He, of course, played for the Netherlands, and he mentioned the fact that in 2006 in Mönchengladbach, Korea and Germany played a 2-2 draw to put Netherlands out, and they were waiting on the sideline for a result, and it wasn't coming. So you've got to think
conspiracy
that,
theorists
well,
will be loving it if it's a draw.
Conspiracy theorists, yes. But why would Ireland and England help one another? Or perhaps they'll just help each other. That's the prospect ahead. That's the game that comes after this one.
Well, of course, the only way you can get around that is by playing the last pool matches exactly the same time. That's the only way you can get around. But even then, you could have one person from the team in there going, look, it's 9-0.
Yeah,
draw's good enough.
Yeah, they would certainly by now have known, wouldn't they, if the game was being played at the same time.
So here come Australia once more. Ogilvie just gets tackled by Au and leaves the ball behind. And here come China. Au and Gross just kicked it. Let's have another look at the last goal.
Yeah, Beale, far post, Witherspoon's down. That's the goal that you love to score. You love to get that opportunity. Of course, you have to be able to control that shot. If you hit that shot in the air, then your teammates are not going to get to the far post, are they?
The defender that was with the keeper, would you want him with Wotherspoon, or would you want him trying to form a barrier with the keeper?
Well, he could be with Wotherspoon, but he had most of the angles covered, didn't he? But just that final little piece. If he's with Wotherspoon, of course, it's better.
Covers wants the free hit. And just tells the umpire, come on. Now, perhaps a little chance for China here. Yi Wenhui into the circle, but you better believe it. Dawson wants to keep a clean sheet. Full length dive from the Australian number 6 to put it behind for a long corner. If we were wondering whether or not Australia would play to the final hooter, I think there's your answer.
Well, it looked like it was the perfect pass, but Dawson had other ideas. Great dive.
Rowe fires it in, no one in a red shirt near it.
And they've fired 2 or 3 balls into the circle, but no outcome.
Australia shading the total possession, but 65% of that is in the China half. They're doing a lot of attacking. 31 circle penetrations, 13 shots, 12 of which have been on target, 9 of which have gone in. That'll do, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, we're averaging 3 a quarter. If they get 3 more in the next quarter, there's your equal of your record score. Can they get another one before the end of this quarter? China, well, what do? You just keep fighting.
Made up towards the edge of the circle to Beale. Final minute. And Govers has himself a hat-trick in this one. The second hat-trick of the tournament. He is now the tournament's leading goal scorer.
Yes, clearly. 2 before today, he now has 5.
2 ahead of his nearest rivals, but played a game more than, apart from Payat, who's had the same number of games, more than Hertzberger and
Zilli.
And Jamanpreet Singh.
Hey, come on.
Final few seconds for Australia. Zaluski in no real hurry to take this free hit. Fires it in. And that will be the end of quarter 3. The hooter sounds.
You don't need to push nobody. Okay,
And Australia score 3 goals, but they came in rapid succession at the start of the quarter. And Blake Govers, well, has his hat-trick. A wonderful finish from him from open play, and Australia, well, dominant. 3/4 time score. Australia 9, China 0.
There's the shot across the face, touched in. Well done by Tim Brand. Unselfish play by Ogilvie. Lovely interception by Hayward. And Covers.
Fantastic finish,
stinging shot. Hits the ball hard. He knows where the goals are. And then little ball slipped outside. Beale does well. Fires it across the face. Nice and flat. Perfect opportunity. And Wotherspoon makes no mistake from there.
Well, Colin Batch still urging his men on. The Kookaburras looking in very fine form, but clearly they won't be reading too much into this result. The view down inside the Kalinga Stadium, and here are the stats at the end of the 3rd quarter, and Australia leading by 9 goals to 0. And well, look at that, it's been very, very difficult for China.
Well, you don't normally score 9 goals from 13 chances, though. That's real efficiency, and that makes the score, well, it's flattering for Australia probably, because normally from that many chances you might score 3 or 4. That's been the clinical finishing today, probably as a result of the fact that China really haven't defended as they should.
So the final quarter is underway. Australia leading by 9 goals to 0. We're wondering whether or not we might see a record score in a World Cup match. That currently held by Australia, a 12-0 win over South Africa back in 2010. The highest aggregate scoring World Cup match came back in 1982 when Pakistan beat New Zealand by 12 goals to 3. So 15 goals in the match is the most ever. I'm not sure we'll quite get there tonight with this one, but we might see 12-0 equalled or beaten.
Well, certainly China haven't looked like scoring a goal. Had very few chances at the other end, and so it's whether or not Australia can get some more. They haven't had a corner in the second half. Perhaps Colin Betch would like to see them do that. If you get penetration, you get into the circle, then win some corners. You always need practice with your corner battery.
Well, they're 4 from 6 tonight, Australia, so it's working okay.
Yeah, you'd be happy with that, but if you're a corner taker, you would be wanting more shots.
Here come Australia once more. Brand with a little spin, ball back inside. Good save as Beale tries to play it across the face of goal. Replacement goalkeeper, Ao Shi Wei. But here come the Kookaburras again. Beale slips it inside. And Wetton's ball forward is cut out. Australia already penning China back in their half.
A lot of pressure, hard to get out. Forcing an error, can you get it back again? You get it back again in that area, of course, you're straight into the circle. The idea of the attackers is not to make a mistake. You pressure, but you don't give away an easy free hit. You don't let them get out easily. Good tackling, well done by Hayward.
And he's won the free hit.
Yep. He won the ball.
Brand did well to get his feet out the way. Ockenden spins. Looks like he's going to lay it back to Hayward. Now he'll come all the way back out.
And so what you get is an overemphasis. You get all of the Chinese players across one side. You swing it to the other side. You get an overreaction. You suddenly find space. Now there's some space in the middle.
Wetton goes for the near post. And no touch, no goal.
Crowd goal. No one on that side of the post. Someone had been there. That would have been an easy tip in too. As Wetton's hit. Just not quite the angle he was looking for. We've got a list of goal scorers tonight, haven't we, Charlie? I don't think we've seen a list like that for a while.
Yes, 7 players have scored, and Govers with 3. That makes you 9. And that would be pleasing, I guess, for Colin Batch to have so many scorers.
You want to get as many as you can on the scoreboard. The feeling that goes with scoring a goal is a good one. It raises people's confidence, gives them belief. Ockenden, he's capable of running past anyone.
Dropped it out for Wetton. Wetton into the circle edge, and here come Australia. Pull back, cracked in. As easy as you like for Ogilvie, and it's another name on the scoreboard, and it's double figures, for Australia.
Well, China won it back, but the Australians were sharp in there, stole the ball, fell to Ogilvie. There it is. Brand wins it back, knocks it across, hits a foot, play on, and falls to Ogilvie. Well umpired. There it is. Into the space, Ogilvie makes the trap, and that's as easy a shot as you'll get. Mitten sitting on the other side of the post there. He would have liked his moment too, but that was Ogilvie's.
I have a feeling they might have to replace the fireworks behind the goals.
Yeah, they've fired them off 10 times. That's more than we've seen for a while.
So Australia 10, China 0. A big scoreline.
Well, China have come here to this tournament. They've surprised us with their 2 draws. And today, unfortunately, they've just been outclassed by a very, very good team.
Meng almost dispossessed on his 23-metre line and pays the price, but he's managed to get it out. Now, due to Lake, we haven't seen anything from him because it's all been about defence. Tom Craig with a good tackle.
Not a corner, not an opportunity really, not a shot on goal yet.
Not a sniff. Just 4 circle entries, all of them down the left-hand side for China in this contest.
And all the time in the world for those Australians at the back. Then a long ball, Beale brings it down.
Onto his body. Free hit. Guo will take it. Bit of space here for Guan Buyang. Plays it in field, goes for the return pass. Just about keeps it in. Off the stick, so free hit to China. Nice pass, lovely little interchange. But there's a good tackle from Ockenden, and it's a penalty corner. First opportunity for China.
Well, a good piece of play by China. I think Australia's going to go upstairs. Yeah. I think the umpire
No
thought
foot,
he hit a
they're
foot.
looking, Simon, they're just looking for a stick or a foot, please.
Okay, take a look.
I think that the umpire thought it hit a foot. May not have. Australia wouldn't have used their referral if they thought it did. There's the Chinese play.
Yep, that is the stick.
There's no foot there, is there? This will be Australia's hit. Good tackle by Ockenden. Stick down. No.
There's no way the umpire can see because he's standing behind.
And the Chinese player puts his hand up, but in hope, in desperation.
Okay, let's listen in.
Yeah, it's a corner.
Lim,
Long
I
corner.
have a decision for you. It has hit the Australia stick. Therefore, it's a free hit out, and Australia keep their referral.
Free hit out. It's a free hit out. No. Yeah. It's a free hit out.
Well, the umpire was saying it should be a long corner, and I think that's right. I don't think it is a free hit out. Should have been a long corner for China.
It would only be a free hit out if China had referred it and they got it wrong.
Yeah. No, should have been a long corner. The umpire wanted to do that, and he got misled by the video ref. The video ref got it right, of course. So once again, we can have trust in those decisions.
That's a good.
Can't back in there.
No.
Beale knows.
Especially when the stick is on the ground, you can't kick it out of the way with your feet. You can step over it and keep going. Did he?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen players try to do that. There's Beale. He traps it well, but no. Good tackling by the Chinese player.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody twisted his ankle.
Yeah, it's our way bout.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
9 minutes.
For the whistle, okay?
2 more required for the record. There it is. Yeah. Right.
You're moving with your feet.
So let's have a look at as it stands. And, the goal difference has taken a battery, hasn't it? China.
-10.
Yeah.
They've still got the points, and so the next game will be crucial.
Yeah, so any draw would see China go home. And the only other team that can open up with 3 wins in the pool stage is Germany. Belgium took points off India, or India took points off Belgium, whichever way you want to look at it. Argentina beaten by France. Germany the only other side with an unblemished record so far.
And they have Malaysia, who they should be able to deal with. China, a break.
Guan has possession, trying to find the supporting runners. Perhaps waits just a shade too long. Dawson for the first time doesn't get a really telling touch, and this time it's onto the foot of Howard, is it?
He's shaking his head, but he's not shaking his head to the extent where he's going to use the referral. Well, Tyler Lovell will get some work. Talaki will get an opportunity. Ball into the circle. Fumbled there.
I know what you mean. But you're putting
Looked like it. Nobody's foot. Oh, he hit.
Yeah, that's very slow. That's not a drill. Just hit really.
I wonder why I didn't refer.
So anyway, penalty corner for China, who have 1 in every game. 1 from 4 against England, 1 from 4 against Ireland.
Hold on.
Talaki's not on the field.
No, so lining up is Ao Wei Bao, who's just had to sort his ankle out. As soon as you see if he's right, Rick. Good save from Tyler Lovell, rebound into the middle, and the defence does its job. First shot on target for China.
Tyler Lovell gets some work, unlike Charter. Here's the shot down the middle, well saved, good work. The defence there, Ockenden jumped on that ball. Harvey on the far side.
Drops it back out, Hayward. Dawson and Weir on the right. This is Weir.
And Australia perhaps playing a little bit conservatively now. They're not looking to penetrate as they were earlier, though there's a chance on the far side.
Zalewski to Harvey. Harvey take the sideline ball. Harvey to Zalewski, too much space! Deflected over by Mitten.
I think that's Ming. I think Ming touched that. I think we got along, have we?
Oh, it was touched by the China defender. I thought must have got in front of Mitten. Looking for Brand. Zalewski with the tackle. Look at that for work from Jake Wetton. Brand, head up. Good defence by Meng.
There it is. Ming deflects it away. That's why we had a long.
Zalewski, Weir. He takes the deflection and
extraordinary. We've nearly played 2 quarters now, Charlie, and we haven't had a corner. Australia's been dominant, but they haven't won a corner in all that time. Quite unusual.
Hayward playing up the circle edge. Wotherspoon, first time, and it is number 11 who got the last touch. Mitten or Brand? We'll wait and see from the replay. It looks like, well, Brand and Mitten are both getting the congratulations. But Brand was certainly the nearest of the two. But either way, it's 11-0.
Well, and Grant Mitten hasn't been on the scoreboard today, I think. So he would have wanted to be, but I think this is going to be Brand's. There's the ball, touch, yep.
Is that a little apology from Brand?
No, well.
Mitten? Well, here, just watch. As he goes in, there. Brand with his second.
I don't think the Australians care who, they just want to make sure of it. And that's just a touch over the line. 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Can they get another?
Well, they'd need 2, of course, to set a new highest score in World Cup matches. 1 to equal it.
And in that game, Luke Dorner scored 4, so can Blake Govers perhaps get 4? But no corners in the second half. Quite unusual, given the size of the score.
That's 7 field goals for Australia, and the world rankings are certainly being reflected tonight.
Unlike last night.
Well, unlike most matches.
Such a shock.
Although, Rick, you were making a good point at breakfast this morning. You know, what team in Pool A can see the most number of goals? Argentina.
Yeah, no, I think that maybe Argentina's defence isn't as good as we thought. Certainly 8 goals against would not be what they would have come here hoping for.
Or expecting even.
Yeah. Well, they had 3 in the first game. Remember the first half of the game against Spain, there was a frenetic start.
Yeah, 5 goals in the opening 15.
3-2 at quarter time.
Here comes Zalewski. Here's the free hit.
The disappointing thing from China's point of view is that they really haven't had any offensive opportunities.
It's been fair pickings, isn't it? Dawson to Hayward. Hayward's going to throw the aerial. Haven't seen Swan, have we? In the second half? Too much?
No, yeah, he hasn't been out there. No, it's a good point. There it is. Pass, ball spills. Brand's there. Just takes it away from Bitten. Off the foot of the Chinese player.
Let's go.
Brand knocks it in.
Ball to the top of the circle, near the top of the circle at 23, won by Ogilvie. There's Matty Swan. Looking on.
Yeah, he is. He's not looking like he's ready to play, is he?
Well, he just took his bib off, so he's getting closer to the pitch.
He's got his socks down, no shin pads on. That's a dead giveaway, I think.
Swan, one of the more experienced players, has Australia failed to bring it under control.
Chance for Blake Govers there. He'd be disappointed just on the reverse. Mishandled.
And they're coming on with a kicking back, are they? They are. Australia are going to play with a kicking back.
Wait.
And they're just going to have some time playing with a kicking back. 2:31.
And it's a wonder they didn't do it earlier. If they wanted to practice it, would have been a chance earlier. Lovell not happy. So here's a real power play now from Australia.
Onto the foot of Wotherspoon.
They want to be man on man all over the field. And so every time China gets it, it's a contest. Here they are.
It's Howard who has the green bib on. Harvey to Govers on the reverse stick. Across it comes, beautifully taken. And just squeezed wide by Craig.
Well, he made a wonderful trap. It was a very good pass from Govers. Beautiful and flat. And there's the trap, but didn't quite get his feet around. There's pressure though.
And there's going to be a card, and this is going to be real trouble. Oh, it's a yellow card, but it wouldn't have made any difference. There's only 1:37 remaining. And so
Double
Australia
man
have two men over now.
Outside.
That's a pretty ugly looking tackle from Iwen Long. It has to be outside, otherwise it would have been a penalty corner and a yellow card. First time in. Keeper makes the clearance.
A minute, 12 seconds. Can Australia win a corner? Can they get a dangerous penetration? There's lots of options.
Zaluski out to Ogilvie onto the baseline where Govers spins inside. Beautiful skill from Govers, still going, and he's dispossessed. Wonderful spin from Blake Govers.
Australia will try and get it back.
Sujun does well, and they've managed to get it out of that tight position, have China, and a chance for a quick break. Sujun goes across the park, and there is Ockenden. Brilliant work from Ockenden, and the third time he gets it as well.
Well, he beat three, and now he can penetrate all the way. He's very fast.
Brand to his left-hand side. Here is Brand. He has to spin back, though, because he picked it up on the reverse stick. Brand, with his foot head up, plays it onto the stick of Guo. It is a long corner, confirming that yellow card. Final seconds.
He's looking for a foot there. Another chance.
Pull back, it's all over. And that is that. And Australia finished Pool B with a dominant performance against China. Goals from Govers, 3 of them. Brand had 2, Zaluski, Craig, Hayward, Wetton, Wotherspoon, Ogilvie. And they kept on coming. But a brilliant performance by the Kookaburras. They have put China well and truly to the sword. And the Kalinga Stadium will be waiting to see if Australia can carry this form through into the knockout stages. Not quite a record scoreline in a men's World Cup match, Australia set the record with 12 goals against South Africa 8 years ago. It looked as if it might be on here against China, but in the end it wasn't quite to be. Maddie Swan didn't really feature in the second half, if at all, but it has been a thoroughly professional performance from Australia, who carried on their performance all the way through, and they finished Pool B with a thumping win.
Well, there's the opening goal from Govers. High quality flick from the high quality flicker, and fast and accurate. Second one from Haywood, brought down, and Zalewski, easy tap in.
And that was 2-0, and that was the final score at the end of the first quarter, and this right in the first 30 seconds of the second quarter.
Craig gets it inside. The goalkeeper comes, slips it to the near post. Then again, Govers. Deflection by the runner. Bad luck, but too good a shot. Haywood then does it again, and the corners are really working for Australia. They didn't get many more corners after that, but they didn't need to, because goals like that were scored. Trapped by Blake, Govers and Tawetton. Brilliant finish.
Now we're into the second half. It started strongly as Tim Brand deflected him.
Far post. Goalkeeper has to cover the near post. Nothing you can do. Haywood's magnificent interception, and Blake Govers' hat-trick with that stinging shot.
That was 8-0. There was still a few more in the bank. This was a nice finish on the far post.
Beale, really, that's a very good pass. Flat, hard, across the face of the goalkeeper. Wetton fires it in there, ball spills, and this time comes to Ogilvie, who makes no mistake from the spot. You're gonna have to hit that one in from there.
That was 10, and time for one more.
There it goes. Brand tucks it in. Minton was waiting, but didn't get to touch it.
So the possession stats, well, look at that, 42 circle penetrations to 6, 17 shots to 1, 11 goals, a really good conversion rate from Australia. And China just the one penalty corner coming towards the end of the contest, but couldn't make it count.
No corners in the second half. I think Colin Batch would have liked some. 28 at half time for circle penetration, so they slowed down in the second half, but they did very well.
Well, that is what it means to the table. China still in second place, but they are now very vulnerable, because if England and Ireland play out a draw, then China go home. An Ireland win or an England win will send them through, and the loser home. Okay, it's time for the post-match presentation. Let's get down to Dan Strange.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match presentation ceremony of match number 19 between Australia and China. First of all, we would like to thank our sponsors: Odisha Government, Odisha Tourism, Hero Motorcore, Baiju's, Dream 11, Star Sports, Odisha Mining Corporation, Tata Steel, Mapletics, Polytan, Adidas, Sahara and Coca-Cola India. We'd also like to welcome our dignitary to the presentation party, Sri Chandra Sarati Bahira, Honourable Minister, Sports and Youth Services Department, Government of Odisha. The man of the match is chosen by Star Sports commentators, and according to their vote, the award for the man of the match goes to number 13 of Australia, Blake Govers. Blake will collect a cheque for 50,000 rupees.
Congratulations to Blake Govers, a hat-trick. 2 from the top of the circle and 1 in open play. A great performance from him, and do the confidence the world of good.
Yeah, well, he's been on the scoreboard, the scorecard in every game. and he's now the leading goal scorer in the tournament, and rightly so. He's a very good goal scorer.
Okay, let's hear from Blake. He's with Dan Strange.
Yeah, Blake, a performance to be proud of and a finishing masterclass from Australia there.
Yeah, it's great to play in front of this crowd and, you know, put on some goals for them. It's great. We had a great game today, and we really gelled together, so that's positive.
You weren't far off the record World Cup win either, 12-0. Were you aware of that?
No, we didn't. We had no clue. We just stuck to our game plan and knew we were playing China and had a game plan, and that's it, really.
You may have done Ireland a favour, and it's unusual for the Australians to do England a favour, but you might just have done that tonight.
Oh, look, we are worrying about ourselves. We don't worry about anyone else.
Well, best of luck for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, thoughts there of Blake Govers, but from an Australian perspective, an excellent performance.
Yeah, they were emphatic. There's the goal difference, 15 after the 3 matches, and Australia would be very happy with that. Of course, their worry would be the next game is quarter-final, and that's one you have to win. No more chances in case you don't.
Well, just the 1 goal conceded by Australia in the pool play, that coming against Ireland in their opener, but since then it's been a pretty one-way traffic, but it's the best goal of the day.
Ockendon's ball, it's a brilliant trap by Govers. He scored 3, but he also laid a couple on, and that's brilliant play by him. And Wetton, of course, so alert, so ready, and so capable round the goals.
Well, the top scorers, it's now Blake Govers from Payet and Hertzberger. And, well, he'll look to carry that form on. But the penultimate Pool B game has resulted in a thumping win for Australia. They have beaten China by 11 goals to 0.